if we take man as he really is, we make him worse. But if we overestimate him, overrate him, we point higher, you know what happens? We promote him to what he really can be.
Unlock possibilities by changing your mindset. You will expand what's possible for you, for the ones around you, for the world. You're moving into a land of both blind spots and learning, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the mindset zone. Join your guide, Anna Melikian, founder of Solo Biz Academy, the director of education for Book Yourself Solid, and a PhD in psychology.
The show you are about to listen is backed by popular demand from the Mindset Zone archive vault. To get all new episodes, make sure you subscribe via your favorite podcast app and visit mindset.zone. Yes, instead of .com, it's .zone. There you can find the episode archive, show notes, and other amazing resources, including how to 4 times your success so you can work smarter, not harder, and learn how to leverage your talents to make a bigger impact while enjoying the process. All at mindset.zone. Today I decide to speak about one of my favorite books, really a classic, a book from Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. And really, I still have to find somebody that read this book and that has to say that this book was not impactful for their lives. And it's not a long book, it's really a short book, and it's divided in 2 parts. The first part, that is about 100 pages, is quite strong. It's because it's where Viktor Frankl accounts his experience in several concentration camps during the Second World War. He really had an amazing story of survival. And it tells about these experiences, almost like writing a diary, recollections from these horrible times that he went through. He lost his wife that was pregnant. His parents died also in the concentration camps. It's the worst situations that you can imagine. And this amazing, truly amazing man came out of it stronger, with a positive view of people, of humankind, create an amazing psychotherapy model. It's really mind-boggling and inspiring. So this first part of the book is sometimes it's tough to read, but inspiring at the same time. And I'm going to read a couple of my favorite passages here, quotes from the book. This one, he says, "Any attempt to restore a man's inner strength in the camp has first to succeed in showing him some future goal." Nietzsche's words, "He who has a why to live for can bear with almost any how." He who has a why to live for can bear with almost any how. Whenever there was an opportunity for it, one had to give them a why, an aim for their lives in order to strengthen them to bear the terrible how of their existence. This is a quote from the book. And there are so many others as powerful as this one. Then in the second part of the book and in the postscript, that is shorter, it's about 60 pages, There is where Frankl summarizes his therapeutic model that is called Logotherapy. And he defines it as meaning-centered psychotherapy. Let me read another passage here using his own words. Let me explain why I have employed the term logotherapy as the name for my theory. Logos is a Greek word which denotes meaning. Logotherapy focus on the meaning of the human existence as well as on man's search for just a meaning. According to logotherapy, the striving to find meaning in one's life is the primary motivational force in man. I repeat, according to logotherapy, this meaning-centered psychotherapy, the striving to find meaning in one's lives is the primary motivational force in man. And more. It's another passage that I love is, thus it can be seen that mental health is based on a certain degree of tension. The tension between what one has already achieved and what one still ought to accomplish, or the gap between what one is and what one should become. I repeat, the gap between what one is and what one should become. For coaches out there that were training certain coaching models, this coaching to the gap, the idea of coaching to the gap, I think will resonate a lot with you. But this idea of that our mental health is this gap between where one is and what one should become is so important. And my intention about reading you these excerpts here and the intention of this podcast, this episode in this podcast, is really to make you curious about this book, about learning more about this wonderful person that was Viktor Frankl and his message to the world. And like always, the quotes that I just read are going to be in the show notes of this episode. You just have to go to my website, AnnaMelikian.com/7, the number of the episode, number 7. So Anna is ANA, Melikian is MELIKIAN.com/7. And now I would like to show you a little treasure. Is a video from a lecture that Viktor Frankl gave at a conference in Toronto. And there is this YouTube video, the recording that I want to replay here. Viktor Frankl still has a stronger accent than myself, so I'm going to be pausing and repeating, so you are going to have different accents of amazing messages. And also, again, in the show notes, I will have the video there that you can listen afterwards. It's like 3-4 minutes. It's a very short video. So let me go here and start.
They wish to make a lot of money. In Europe, every American student, even more every American adult, is regarded as someone who is just out to make a lot of money. Really, 16% of these students regarded their main goal and concern in life to make a lot of money. I'm quoting.
He's speaking about some research that was done, that there was the perception that for American youngsters, their main goal in life was they wish to make a lot of money. But when we look to the research, and what they say, really, only 16% of these students that were researched regarded as their goal, as their concern to make a lot of money.
literally, make a lot of money. And you know what the top class, the top category, we say category, what do you say? Category was among, you excuse me, but I know I am speaking a marvelous accent without the slightest English. Now, you know what the top category was? 78% of these American youngsters were concerned, as they expressed it themselves, with finding a meaning and purpose in their lives.
So, and then he says that from this research then, that what was the main concern, the main goal of these youngsters, this youth, was not making a lot of money, was finding meaning and purpose in their lives.
So this is a realistic view on man. And you know, you won't believe it, gray hair, my age, I started taking flying lessons recently. Do you know what my flying instructor told me? If you are starting here, wish to get here, say east, heading for this, and you have a crosswind, you will drift and you will land here. So you have to do what we pilots call crabbing, he told me, C-R-A-B, crabbing. You have to head for north of this airfield, and you have to fly that way, you see, as if you headed in this direction. If you are heading...
And this is an amazing metaphor, and I'm going to try to make it clear. He's drawing in a blackboard, and he's speaking about something that he was very proud late in life, that he took flying lessons, and he had a license to pilot, and so he was very, very proud of that accomplishment. And he's explaining one of the things that his flying instructor was telling him and explaining and teaching, that if you start in here, and let's imagine point A, if you imagine a map like east, if you start in point A and you want to get to point B, let's imagine a point on west, so imagine a horizontal line, east point A, west point B, but you have crosswinds, that usually always happen. You will drift and will land below south of point B. So what they have to do they use this word crabbing. They have to add, when they are designing that flight route, they go from point A, they add north, so above the point B where they want to arrive. And they are flying as if they were heading on that direction above the point B.
Here, above this airfield, then you will actually land here. But if you head for here, you are landing here. This holds also for man, I would say. If we take man as he really is, we make him worse. But if we overestimate him, it's premature, your applause, you will soon know why. If we seem to be idealists and are overrating man, and looking at him that high, here above, you know what happens? We promote him to what he really can be. So we have to be idealists in a way, because then we'll wind up as the real realists. And you know who has said...
This for me is so amazing, so important, and the metaphor that he uses, and to see this idea, that the idea that they explain of the flying holds also for people. If we take man, using his words, if we take man as he really is, we make him worse. I repeat, if we take man as he really is, we make him worse. But if we overestimate him, overrate him, we point higher, you know what happens? We promote him to what he really can be. So we really have to be idealistic, because then we'll end up as the real. Beautiful. It's the only thing that I can say.
If we take man as he is, we make him worse. But if we take man as he should be, we make him capable of becoming what he can be. This was not my flight instructor, this was not me, this was Goethe. He said this verbally. And now you will understand why I, in one of my writings, once said, this is the most apt maxim and motto for any psychotherapeutic activity. So
if we take man as he is, we make him worse. But if we take man as he should be, we make him capable of becoming what he could be. I only can say powerful. And and don't worry about if you are listening to this in the car or walking or running. Just afterwards, go to the show notes. I have this quote there. And yes, this is amazingly powerful, but you can be asking yourself, like always, I always like to see, how does this imply for a self-employed professionals? So as a self-employed professionals, what was the implication of all this? And let me start with what Frankl learned from his experiences. And one of the phrases that really resonates for me is that this striving to find meaning in one's lives is the primary motivational force in people. I really, really agree with this. Striving to find meaning in one's life is the primary motivational force in people. This is important for psychotherapy. This is important for personal growth and for any self-employed professional. In order for us to be resilient, to overcome the challenge on the road to a successful business that really makes a difference, we have to connect with our why we do it. What we are doing really has to be in service of our purpose, of our meaning. So think about that for your own business. How your business is your way to find meaning in your life. And how that can give you energy to overcome the challenges that for sure you are having to face, and to celebrate and to flavor your wins, and how you help and serve other peoples even more. So, and another quote from Frankl that I read before that I think also applies for us is, mental health is based on a certain degree of tension, the tension between what one has already achieved and what one still ought to accomplish, or the gap between what one is and what one should become. Life and business coaching aims to close this gap. Coaches, they strive to support their clients to go from where they are now to where they want to be. And this is crucial. It's so important to keep in mind for our own businesses. The gap between where one is and where one wants to be. Think about, sometimes it's so important to have our goals clear, where we are heading. Our annual goal in 12 months where we want to be, our 90-day plan. We have from practical and from motivational, we really have to be aware of this tension between the gap between where one is and where one wants to be, and really make that walk. And from the video, and I'm going to be paraphrasing some of Frankl's ideas. One of the things that I really take from that short video that I replay here, that part, they wish to make a lot of money. Really? Only 16% said their goal or concern was to make lots of money. 78% were concerned to find meaning and purpose in their lives. And I know that you were speaking about the youngsters in America, but I think, is this the same goal for most self-employed professionals who want to make a difference? Yes, of course we want to make money, and we don't mind to make lots of money, but why we are doing what we are doing? It's because we are in this search and this mission of making a difference and living our life on purpose. So at least this is very, very important for me. Another point from the video that is very, very strong for me is the metaphor of that powerful metaphor of his flying lessons. Remember, he explained that if we start in point A to get to point B on a horizontal line, because of the crosswinds, we will drift and land below our point B, below our initial goal. However, if we aim to land above point B, higher, we have to aim higher than we think we should go, and we fly as if we were heading above our goal, above point B, it's much more likely that we are going to reach our initial goal, that point B. So are you aiming high enough? Think how important this is for any self-employed professionals. Sometimes we are too realistic. We have to be a little bit idealistic here in our goals. Like we have to shoot for the stars. And even if we just go to the sky, gosh, we are going in the right direction. We are making a difference, and this is important. So remember this, and that takes to that quote that is so beautiful. If we take man as he is, we make him worse. But if we take man as he should be, we make him capable of becoming what he could be. This should be the motto for ourselves. If I take myself as I am, I'm making myself worse. But if I take myself as I should be, I can make myself capable of becoming what I can be. And we can apply the same philosophy to look at the way that we see the ones we serve, the ones that we help, the ones that we support in our businesses. We have to see them more than they are. We have to see their potential. Because if we see just as they are now in point A, and even if they want just to go to point B and we say, okay, you only can do this, we are limiting them. But if we see all the potential that they have, we allow them to be capable of really becoming something special. And think about this same quote applying for our own businesses. If we take our business as it is at this moment, we are making it worse. But if we take our business as it should be, we are making our business capable of becoming what our business could be, the potential. think about the possibilities here. When you are setting your goals, think about this. Think about aiming higher and go for it. Even if there is tension, that is part of the process. And again, you can find all these quotes and the video if you go to the show notes at annamelikian.com/7. You have all them there. And as always, I love to hear from you. I love to know how this podcast is impacting you. What are you learning from it? Do you have questions? There is topics you love to see addressed in this podcast? Just email me. I'm an email away. My email is anna@annamelikian.com. Or you can phone me. Really, you can phone me. You just have to dial 480-648-0656, 480-648-0656. Then you will have a menu there. You press number 2 to leave a message regarding this podcast. And then I even can play the message here. So just think about this. Think about all the potential that you have and how can you make it happen. Thank you for listening. And remember to visit mindset.zone. Yes, instead of .com, it's .zone. There you can find all the episodes and other amazing resources, such as how to join the Mindset Zone community and how to 4 times your success so you can work smarter, not harder, and learn how to leverage your talents to make a bigger impact while enjoying the process. All at mindset.zone. As always, I'm so grateful that you have crossed over into the Mindset Zone. Expand what's possible for you, for the ones around you, for the world.